Hi everyone, how you doing? Hope you're well. So these were sent out to me recently from KZ Acoustics. They're called the S2s. Now they're a little bit different from the typical TWS tech that I have been reviewing because these are hybrids. They've got dual drivers in them. So we've got one handling the lows, which is 7mm, and then a balanced armature, which is handling the more higher frequencies. Now these are going to be on Indiegogo. I've seen that they will be listed first with an early bird price of just $29 US. And that is fantastic value really for how these sound to me testing them out. Now, small disclaimer here that these were sent out free of charge to me in exchange for this video, and all the opinions expressed in all of my videos, including this one of course, are 100% my own, and they are not approving this video before I publish it. In our box, you'll find just two ear tips here. So they've only got the medium ones that are already on the earbuds themselves. So no large, no small. Some foam tips would have been really great. We've got some paperwork there and of course a Type-C cable there to charge them. There is a user guide in here as well, which is quite handy because it shows you how to correctly fit them. So you don't just push these into your ear. No, you have to push and then turn to get the correct fit. Otherwise, they feel like they're always going to be falling out on you. It also tells you how to use the touch controls on here. So they're capacitive touch buttons, not hardware click-in ones, unfortunately. They are pretty straightforward here. So double tap and hold for Siri or your Google Assistant. Double tap to skip to the next track. And if it's on the left ear, double tap will go back to the previous. What is missing, however, is volume controls, which to me are kind of essential and really a must-have. So the size of the case here isn't too bad, but it's not as small as some of the others I've seen. For example, the Jabra 75T Elites, you can see that case is quite a bit smaller. This one will actually fit in that small pocket of your jeans, where this one won't. It's just a little bit too big for that. It's got a 500 milliamp hour battery within it. Down the bottom here, that's the Type-C port for charging, of course. Charge time is approximately 2 hours, just like the earbuds themselves. Now we do have a magnet in here to keep that lid closed. So once it is closed, it will not actually rattle around it all, which is great. And then if I open this up, you can see we've got a little bit of text inside there, just outlining the battery capacities. And when you do put them in here, the status LEDs will come on to let you know they're charging. That's pretty much like every other brand there. So once this is fully charged, it's red at the moment, it will then turn blue. Now, the tops of them, I have noticed, will actually rub up against the inside of the case here, where those letters are that I just pointed out, leaving a little bit of a silver mark on the top of them. That's just minor nitpicking there. So really, I wish they'd done something else with that text or not used a silver paint there. But overall, the build quality is not bad at all. Now, we've got this little button on the back here. So pressing this will tell us our battery. So when it's red, you need to charge. That means you've got 30% or less. If it is yellow, that means you've got anywhere from 30 to 70%. And then if it's green, that means 70% battery up to 100. So you're good to go. So the build quality of these TWS earbuds is excellent. There are no sharp edges. It has that ergonomic design to it, like in-ear monitors, just missing the hardware cable. You can see the status LED there a bit closer. So the material on the back here, you can see it's different. Now, it looks like it could actually be a physical click-in button, but it's not. These only have capacitive touch controls, not physical hardware ones, which I would have preferred. The ear tips, these are easy to replace, and as I pointed out, we've only got just the medium-sized ones with this. And foam tips would actually be ideal too if they included those, but they're pretty easy to pick up and buy some of those. And there are our Pogo port connectors right there for, of course, charging these earbuds. You'll see it does also have some text right here, clearly labeling our left or right, and pointing out the fact that we've got two drivers within this. So this is why these are called hybrids, because we've got the two drivers. One is the dynamic driver, and then our balanced armature. Now, in terms of runtime here from the battery within both of those earbuds here, it's not record breaking, okay? They claim 4 hours. It all depends on your volume and the genre of music, but I'm getting approximately 3 hours and 40 minutes or so out of these. Now, the most important thing is just how do they sound? This is all subjective, but I think they've done an excellent job, especially for the price of these. They sound fantastic because we've got a flat tune out of the box. You don't often get that. Often brands will pump up the bass in order to make them sound better for the general public. And really, these are quite good. Now, because the bass is not going to be affecting our highs or the mids even, because they're separated there with the drivers, I find that we get some very good clarity with instruments coming through. Highs are very crisp, they're clean, and the vocals do sound good. Now, for some people, the flatness of them may be a little bit disappointing, so grab your favorite equalizer. I use here, this one is Power Amp, and I find it good. So you can tweak up that bass a little bit. If you push the bass too much and then you increase the volume, you will run into, I found, some distortion coming through from that 7mm driver. And that brings up another thing too as well. When no audio is being played, there's quite a bit of white noise coming through these, a little bit more than I'm used to hearing with TWS earbuds. So you hear that little tiny hiss in the background, but as soon as the music starts, you cannot hear it. And what about our latency? This is one of the most annoying things with Bluetooth tech, that a lot of people just avoid it because they don't like to see the lag, the sync between the audio and the video being out. Now with these earbuds, I'm happy to report that when you put it in the performance mode, which is tapping it 3 times, the latency is very, very good. It is just a fraction of a millisecond delay here with my S10 Plus, and you barely notice the audio sync is out at all. I think most people won't even pick it up at all, and it shouldn't bother them. So this is really good to see. Here's a sample of the microphone. So there is one in each of the earbuds, and the quality, as you can hear, is average. It's not particularly good, but it is far from the worst I have heard in all the TWS tech I'm reviewing. Now, it is meant to have active noise cancellation, but to me, it is simply not working. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the fit of these. It's not bad, okay, but I've noticed that at least with this ear, it feels like sometimes it's going to come out with me. I think it's to do with the seal with the tips, but I often have to push it back in a little bit and give it another bit of a twist and go, okay, there we go, it's fine. Now, I've been using these for a long time. I've been walking around the house, just doing your normal daily activities, and they have not fallen out. I have been outside playing a little bit of football with my kids, running around as well, and I noticed then again that, oh, hang on, it feels like it could drop out. So I think for runners, these are not really going to be ideal for that. Now, they do have apparently an IPX5 rating, or they do say they're splash resistant, but again, I think sports, these probably aren't the ones for that. Now, that microphone quality, let's talk a little bit about that it doesn't have any active noise cancellation. So if you're someone that places a lot of voice calls, I can't recommend them for that until they fix that problem, because we need that noise cancellation. If you've got a busy office environment, you can hear people typing away on their keyboards, having their conversations. That's all going to come through on the microphones with these here. Touch controls, now they are working for me about 8 times out of 10. It's not 100%. I prefer physical click-in hardware buttons, but they're okay. But the big thing is, where is the volume control on these? It lacks them. So that is a disappointment there as well. Now, disconnections. Because of the times we're in right now, I haven't been able to test these in town in my apartment that has a lot more wireless networks around, Bluetooth networks all being transmitted at the same time. So I can't really comment on that one, but I haven't had any problems with disconnects. Now, the big selling factor for these isn't the battery life. Now, that's about 4 hours, a little bit less. You do get the additional 4.5 charges, which is good. It's kind of run-of-the-mill standard battery operating times there. But where it does stand out, yes, is definitely the sound quality. I think it's absolutely fantastic for the price. If you can get them for that initial $29 US, I would say go and grab that. Now, I'm not just saying that because they sent these out to me free of charge. It is my opinion there on these, that this sound for that price, for $29 US, very, very good. Because we've got that driver that's handling our lows, and then we have the balanced armature, so very crisp highs on here. But even the way they are tuned out of the box, I think it's very well balanced. It is good. And you can boost up that bass a little bit. Now, there are a couple of tiny complaints here, that if you boost the bass up, the low frequency, and then really push that volume up, you will hear some distortion, okay? So if you're a huge bass lover, they love it super powerful, punchy bass and really loud, distortion might happen. It's only happening on one of these ears, so it might just be the driver on this one, but I happen to think it'd probably be a general kind of thing. And then the white noise you get, so that hiss comes through, a little bit of it, just between tracks. I can hear that this faint hiss more than others. Now, that's always there on a lot of the other tech. TWS tech, normally before you hear that prompt coming up saying turning on or you're turning off, you hear a sissing noise. It's just a little bit higher than normal there. But overall, I think for the price, these are good. As mentioned, it's just all about that audio quality there. Thank you so much for watching my review here of the S2s here from KZ Acoustics. I hope to see you back with more up and coming audio reviews from me. Bye for now.